Today's webinar is 5 cool smartphone apps everyone should have. Now, here's something I want to say. There are thousands, tens of thousands of apps for the iPhone, for Android, even for Windows phones. Okay, I could have a 5 cool smartphone apps webinar every week, and we could do that for 50 weeks and not run out of apps. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We'll do this one today. I'll probably schedule another one down the road and go over 5 other apps. But there's lots of great apps that you could be using on your phone. So today we're going to look at 5 of them. And first we're going to go through, I'm just going to tell you about each of them. And then I'll bring up my phone and we'll look at them on my phone. But for right now, we're going to just look at the different ones. The first app that everybody should have is Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy lets you search for gas prices by city, state, zip code, gives you all kinds of listings in the United States and Canada. It's updated in real time. It gives you national price averages. And this is absolutely one of Joyce's favorite apps, if not the favorite. Because we use this all the time. Some of you know that we have one set of kids in New Jersey, another set of kids in Texas, and because we always take Gus with us, we always drive. So we're always looking for, okay, how many miles can we go on the tank that we have filled now? And then, you know, where can we get gas at the best price? And of course that varies from, as you know, it not only varies from state to state, but even here, like on the Treasure Coast, you know, you can go 10 miles and there'll be a difference of 30 cents per gallon in gas. And when we get to that on the phone, I'm going to show you how to use that and how you can narrow down your search and do other things. So that's the first app, Gas Buddy. It's a definite cool app and everybody should have that one. The next one we're going to look at is the YouTube app. And I use this all the time on my phone. You know, there's a million things you can learn to do on YouTube. We're on YouTube. 4KCC has a channel. You can watch our webinars and watch our other YouTube videos on our channel, but you can do it on the phone. You don't always have to be sitting in front of, you know, a computer or even a tablet. You can do it on your phone. And it's a great place to watch videos and you know, upload. They have original content. You can share stuff with your friends, with family, with Facebook and Instagram. You can do all kinds of things in YouTube, and it's a great little app. I use it all the time, and it's just an awesome app. And if you're not using YouTube, you should be. There's lots of great information there. Now, just remember this, like everything else, you know, there are different qualities of things that you find there. Like for instance, I went to an app the other day from a computer guy. I just wanted to see how they approached explaining something that I've already done a video on. Let me tell you, if you did not have an IT degree, you would not have been able to understand what this guy was saying. So for the average user, if you went to that app, you'd say, this is ridiculous. I don't understand any of that. So just know that there are degrees of things. There's nonsense, there's good things. There's great music. There's, you know, stuff from the past. You want to look up different people. It's just a great place. So that's also a great app, the YouTube app. And again, we're going to look at all of these shortly. Now, the third app that I recommend is not exactly an app. It's actually, there's lots of apps that do this, but it's really great to have a translator app. So the two that I use on my phone are Google Translate and Microsoft Translator. And they're a little different, but the good thing is that you can, you know, look up a word in a different language. It will speak the word for you in the language. You can copy it to your clipboard. You can paste it in a text or something else on your phone, and that's where I use it all the time. And one of the reasons, you know, with the internet and with all these social media platforms and things, what has happened is we're meeting people, quote unquote, from all over the world who we would have probably never met. So I have friends like on Instagram and Facebook. You know, I have a, you know, a friend in Taiwan. I have friends in Italy, all over. And the kind of cool thing is, it's great to be able to send a text message to them or post a message or on their, you know, Instagram or Facebook that they posted some picture. It's kind of cool to do it in their language. And so that's where these translators come in handy, and we're going to look at those. And again, if you go into the store, either the Google Play Store or the iPhone store, and you look in there, you'll see there's lots of translators, but these are the two that I've kind of grown fond of and pretty good at using. So that's the third kind of app. Is not a particular app, but translator, a style of app. Then the fourth one that I want to recommend is, again, this is a style of app. Around Me and Yelp. Those are two that I use. They're in a folder normally on my phone that's called Travel. So like Joyce and I have found ourselves sometimes, you know, we're traveling somewhere and, you know, we're hungry and we get off the expressway to someplace we don't know. We've never been to this city before. And we can bring up Around Me and see what's real close, what's nearby within, you know, a couple miles of us. Restaurants, banks, hospital, you know, heaven forbid you're out traveling and you need a hospital. Around Me does that. Yelp also does it. Yelp goes one step further, and that is that it lets different businesses be reviewed. So people who go there can post reviews. They can give it stars. They can post a review if they want. And that's another great feature of Yelp. But sometimes for me, it's faster just to use Around Me. Now, on the iPhone, if you ask Siri where something is, where's the closest McDonald's, she will actually refer to Yelp to get you that information. But if you're doing it manually, you might want to try Around Me or Yelp. And then the last app that I want to recommend is a single app, and that's Google Maps. Now, I'm not always a great fan of Google. I think they take too much of our information, but Google Maps is a great app for this reason. It allows you to look at traffic situations. Like, I can't tell you how many times Joyce has bailed us out of being backed up in hours of backup traffic, say on an expressway where there's been an accident or there's construction, because she looked on Google Maps first and saw that there was a string of red, and then she was able to use Google Maps and figure a way around it. Joyce is my great navigator. I hate to go anywhere without her because, you know, if you think about an airplane, she's the one that keeps us on course, and with the help of Google Maps, she can keep us out of a lot of trouble. And the same thing with you. And even if you're alone, you know, you shouldn't be trying to use Google Maps on your phone if you're driving, but you know, you can always pull off to the side, check it, figure out the best way to go, and then go from there. So that's an overview of the 5 apps. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up my phone, which you should be able to see now. And I've created a folder for today's webinar. Normally these apps are in different folders. The couple of them are in the travel folder and some are in others, but I put them all in one folder for today's webinar so I'd know exactly what I had recommended and that I could go over them. So let me get that, and let me do a little moving here. Okay, now the first one I mentioned was Gas Buddy. So I'm going to click on Gas Buddy and open that, and you see it on the screen now. You see it opening. And the first thing that happens is it gives me, right off the bat, it tells me the lowest to the highest price in my area that I'm at right this second. Okay, now I could click find gas near me, or I could go up where it says enter location. So to give you an example, I'm going to put in there Austin, Texas. Okay, so what it's done there is it has shown me in Austin, Texas. It has shown me some of the gas stations and their price. Now, you're only seeing Chevron, and you might say, why am I only seeing Chevron? And that's because one of the great features of this is, like, we have gas cards for certain companies, and we like to use those companies so that we're not using a credit card that might be exposed to a card reader at a gas pump. So we have gas cards just for certain gas stations. Chevron is one of them. But what can happen is at the top, if you see where it says brands, that is why that's why it's only showing Chevron. Okay, because that's I had picked Chevron. So hang on just a second here. Okay, so if I go up to that, I can reset it, and now it will show me every brand in Austin, Texas, and you can see the price. $238, there's a Shell for $239, Sam's Club, and you can see Golf. Okay, you can see all the different ones right now. And so there wasn't just the 3 Shells. I can click on brands, and then it has some brands across the top. You can see them scrolling. So if I only wanted, say, Exxon, I could click on that because we have an Exxon card. And there are the Exxons, and I can see the price. Okay, and if I pick one, this is another great thing. Let's say I pick one. I'm going to pick this first Exxon. Now, the thing about it is you can show, there's ratings for it. It shows me where it is. It shows me what amenities it has. Okay, and people write reviews, and they can do that. And if I was there and I wanted to, I could actually get directions to that station. So you're going to see that for me to go to that Exxon today, it's going to be a 17-hour and 57-minute drive. All right, so it's probably not worth going there to save 15 cents a gallon if that's all I was going for. But when you're there, it will give you the map, and there's a start button at the bottom. I could click start, and the phone will actually read all the directions to me. So there's lots of great things. I'm back in Gas Buddy. You can do other things besides just brands. You can look for something with amenities. Do they have propane? You know, if you have a little RV that has propane, maybe you need to go there. Can you pay at the pump? Do they have restrooms? Are they open 24/7? So you can hit all that stuff. And once again, it will narrow down the gas stations, etc. Now, by the way, as I'm in Gas Buddy, you can see that there are some ads in there. If I wanted to pay some money, I can get rid of the ads. You can buy the app. I don't remember exactly how much this one is. None of these apps are real expensive, $1.99, $2.99, and you can get rid of those ads if you want to. Joyce and I don't really care about the ads, so you know we've never bought the app, but that's what you can do. So this is a great app. And so let me get all that closed, and let me go back to my folder. The next one that I talked about was YouTube. And when I click on that, it brings up now, I have YouTube Premium. All right, so As you can see, it's starting to play a video, which I didn't really want it to do. So let me get out of that. Okay, so we have the premium. So when we run ads, when we run video, there's no ads, which is a cool thing, but it's not cheap per month. So unless you do a lot of YouTubing, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. And there are different things here. And these videos that show up, they will change based on what I look at online. Okay, but you could play any of these and you can play it on your phone. I'm not going to play any right now, but it's a great app for that. You can search. If I go up here to the top, there's a search button, and now I can search for something. So for instance, the other day, Joyce and I were watching a program and there was a reference made to the OJs. We were watching an old psych. And she's like, what kind of songs did the OJs? She didn't remember, you know, right at the moment. She blocked it out or whatever. Oh, okay, that's right. She's saying she was too young to remember the OJs. That's what it was. I knew it was something like that. So I went in and I searched the OJs. And then what happened was their music came up. And of course, for the OJs, one of the, you know, the songs they're the best known for was that song called Love Train. So I played that for her, and as soon as she heard it, she said, well, I don't remember it originally because I'm too young, but I have heard the song. So that is YouTube, another great app. All right, now the next thing we talked about was Translate. And here's Google Translate. And again, I use this one a lot. And I can put a word in English if I want to, and I can change it to whatever language. So if I type up here, and if I'm going to type the word beautiful, okay, in English. Now, if I want to know what that is in French, it actually shows me that down there already. And it shows me what it is. And you notice there's a little speaker. If I click on that speaker, it will actually be pronounced. Now, I don't know that you'll hear it through the webinar, but it would do that. Now, if I say, okay, I don't want French, I want some other language. Look at all these languages that are here. There's a ton of languages. Now, maybe I want Italian because I'm married to an Italian wife and I want to say that she's beautiful. So there is the word. And if I looked at that and if I didn't know how to pronounce Bellissimo, I've probably mispronounced it now. I would click on the speaker and Bellissimo. Yeah, I would hear it. Now, also, if you look, you'll see that there is, in that blue area in the right-hand corner, there's a little, like double pieces of paper. And if I click on that, it has copied it to my clipboard. So now I could go into a text on my phone and I could copy it into that and send the text to someone. Additionally, there are other things. I could share it. There's a share button. If you see the little G and then there's a share button, and now I could send it an email, I could add it to notes, add it to notes. I could do all kinds of stuff with it and share it that way. Now, it isn't just for a word. You can put an entire phrase or sentence, whatever. And you don't have to type it. Do you see where it says voice? I can actually click on that and then I could speak the English word. I could say beautiful in English and it would translate it into Italian or whatever other language I picked. Now, again, here's the Microsoft one. Now, when the Microsoft one comes up, I have some choices. I can click on the microphone. I can click on the keyboard. I could actually click on my camera or I could do a conversation. I'm going to click on the keyboard and the keyboard comes up and allows me to, again, English to Italian. And by the way, you can go the other way, all right? Because sometimes, you know, people that I talk to online, they will respond in their language. And I'm like, uh-oh, what does that mean? So I will put, instead of Italian to English, I'll click on this and I'll put Italian, and I'll put it to English. Okay, and of course, it doesn't always have to be English. I could translate from Italian to German, since I'm German. I could do whatever I want, and all I do is I type the word up here, and let's see, is that an Italian word? Yes. So I typed an Italian word, and it translated it into English. And once again, there's a speaker there. If I click on that speaker, it will pronounce it for me. So between the Google Translate, and I really like the Microsoft one also, you should have a translator on your phone. Now the next section is, again, when you're traveling, the Around Me and the Yelp, and I'll show you the difference. I'm going to click on the Around Me, and you see it has different categories. All right, do I need to find a supermarket? So if I click on supermarket, it will find supermarkets that are fairly close to me. You can see that there are some there 2.4 miles, 2.5. It generally doesn't go over 5 miles, I don't think. Oh, no, there's a 10 mile, made a liar out of me. And again, this also has apps, has ads, and I could get rid of those if I wanted to, if I want to pay for the app. Again, I don't care about the ads. And actually, sometimes I might see something on the ad that I'm actually interested in, and I might actually click on it. So that's the situation there, and that's how that works. And again, I can pick any category that I want: pharmacies, movies, hospitals. Again, I could pick gas stations, but I'm going to go to GasBuddy for gas stations. Coffee shops, banks. A popular one might be restaurants, of course, and it will show me restaurants, everything from fast food restaurants like Taco Bell. It would show me even, there's an Italian restaurant 1.35 miles away. And like with anything, again, if I click on, I'll show you, if you look where the mileage is and that arrow is, if I click on that, it brings up a map, and it would be, give me locations. Now, unfortunately, on this one, there's a message here from Foursquare that says they're no longer in business. So if that's the case, I'm probably not going to go there. What do you think? All right. So that's Around Me. And kind of like the same thing, here's Yelp. I like to have them both, though. And that little window that popped up there was asking me, did I want to allow Yelp to use my location? Well, of course I do. Because if it doesn't know my location, it might bring me up something that's 17 hours away. So I'm going to pick the location. And again, just the same, there are categories at the top. If I don't have a category there, I can click on More. And there are all kinds of categories here. And I could pick a category. They also suggest things. People put ads on Yelp. And so that's all there. New collections. I can search. So I could let's search for McDonald's just for the heck of it. And you can see, on the map, all the McDonald's that are nearby. And when you see that, you have to ask yourself, why didn't I buy McDonald's stock in the late 1950s or 60s when it first started? We're all kicking ourselves for that. The only stock that you might kick yourself more for is Apple. Okay, so, and anyway, those two apps work kind of the same, but this one will have more reviews. And you can see some of those McDonald's only have 1 star. That's not good. But keep in mind, anybody can post anything. So I don't take too much stock in reviews. All right, so that's that. Now the last one that we need to go over, as we're running out of time here, is Google Maps. Now this is the one, and you can see where I am right now because it brings up my location. shows us right on Leafy Road. That's where we're at. So let's do this. I'm going to put in here, once again, I'll use Austin, Texas. We like to pick on our Austin kids. So I'm going to put Austin, Texas. And then I'm going to press for directions. And of course, now it says 18 hours. But what I want to try to show you is as you make the map bigger, maybe I should have taken New Jersey. What do you think? All right, let's take New Jersey. That one will show you, because Austin, that trip is usually pretty good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Old Bridge. That's where our other kids are. Old Bridge, New Jersey. Okay, now, even before I put it in, you can start to see this. Let me make this bigger. Look at this. Here's Old Bridge Township. Do you see the red on the map? I'll try to make it bigger. There's orange, and there's red, and there's dark red. If you see dark red, that's 9. 9 is always a disaster when we go up there. So if you see dark red, you want to try to find a way around it. Now let me just show you. We always love this. So let me come down here. Yeah, I got to find it. Here we go. Okay, when we go to New York, let's look at New York. Look at all that red. This is where the saying, a lot of people don't know this, but this is what you see in this map is where the saying came, a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Okay, just look at all that red. That's incredible, isn't it? All that red. Now, if you look really close, I know it's hard for you to see, there are little circles with things in them. And if you click on that, that's a crash. And it tells you there's a crash on Queens Midtown Tunnel. So that would give you a reason why. Now, if you go up FDR, let's take a look on that. There's a crash on FDR Drive. So it will tell you, you know, whether it's a crash. Look at all those crashes. It will tell you whether it's a crash. Now, here's one that's not a crash. It's construction. And you can tell that because it's a little guy digging. If you travel anywhere in the car, this is such a great app. Now, I'll give you a little warning. You can't wait until you're backed up in traffic on the expressway and nowhere near an exit to say, oh, I better open this up and look. What you have to do is even like with Joyce and I, we make lots of trips to Orlando. It's normally a less than 2-hour drive. But Joyce will look when we're getting ready to leave the house and she'll say, okay, is there red on the turnpike? Is there red on 95? And we will pick which way we're going to go, not based on the fact that the turnpike costs us money, but based on the fact that if we go 95, we might be sitting in a backup for 2 hours. So it's a great, it's just a great app to have. By the way, just for the fun, let's look at Washington and Baltimore. Actually, they're not too bad right now. Okay, the bypasses around them, there's a lot of orange, but not too much red. And that's good because a lot of times we'll bypass this area completely because of that. So at any rate, that is it. Those are some apps and 2 types of apps, a translator and a type of app that will show you what's around you. Those are the apps that I highly recommend that you have on your smartphone. And again, there's thousands of apps, and I could give you easily now, without even thinking about it, I could give you 5 more. But you know, I like to keep the webinars to about 30 minutes. So we're going to end with this today, and down the road, maybe in a few weeks or 6 weeks or 2, whatever, we'll have another one with 5 other apps. So Joyce, were there any questions other than those at the beginning that said they couldn't hear me? Okay, no questions. Great. If you do have a follow-up question, just send an email to john@4kcc.com. Thanks for attending today. Have a great day.